Welcome back to Beyond Band 6 IELTS Preparation. This is Module 5, IELTS Academic Reading, Lesson 1, The Introduction. There are 6 lessons in this module. In this lesson, we will cover the basics of the reading test. You'll learn how the test is scored, what the key reading skills are, and what the different reading questions are. In Lesson 2, we'll cover how to prepare for the reading test. You'll learn what you should do before the reading test, as well as the best resources for developing your reading skills. Lessons 3, 4 and 5 cover how to answer reading questions. In Lesson 3, we'll cover how to answer multiple choice questions and yes, no, not given questions. In Lesson 4, we'll look at matching information to paragraphs and matching headings to paragraphs. And in Lesson 5, we'll cover how to answer matching features, how to answer completion tasks, and how to answer labeling a diagram. Then in Lesson 6, we will review the whole reading test. We'll cover how to complete the reading test, as well as reading resources for further study and IELTS practice. Now let's look at an overview of the whole reading test and discuss the key reading skills and question types. So the IELTS academic reading test lasts for 60 minutes. In that time you have to answer 40 questions based on 3 texts. You should spend around 20 minutes on each text, and the texts are on a variety of topics of general interest, at least one of which will contain a detailed logical argument. In order to answer all the questions within the time limit, you will have to skim, scan, and read short sections of text in detail. The test is scored out of 40. These scores are then converted to band scores. This varies slightly from test to test, but the following is a good general guide. If you score in the low 20s, then your band score will be 5.5. Mid 20s gives a band score of 6, and high 20s 6.5. If you want to get beyond band 6, you need to score 30 plus. A score of 30 to 32 is band 7, 33, 34 is 7.5, 35 to 36 is band 8, 37, 38 is 8.5, and 39 to 40 is band 9. There are 3 key reading skills you will need to develop in order to succeed at the IELTS academic reading test. The first is skimming. Skimming means reading the text quickly to get the main idea or topic of the text. Use the heading, subheadings, and the first sentence of each paragraph to help you do this. The next key reading skill is scanning. This is finding specific information in the text without reading each sentence, searching for particular words or synonyms. And the final key reading skill is intensive reading. This is what most people think of as reading, where you read each sentence carefully, trying to understand the precise meaning. Let's have a look at how to complete the IELTS reading test. The most important thing to remember is that you should try to read as little as possible. Treat the test as a game, a race against time. Your job is to find the answers hidden in the text as quickly as possible. To do this, you have to be able to identify keywords in the questions and scan the text to find them, or synonyms, or paraphrase. Once you've found them in the text, read only that section of text to answer the question. Read as little as possible. So here is the basic process you should use to answer most reading test questions. First, skim read the text to get the main idea or topic. That should take 1 to 2 minutes only. Then look at the first set of questions. Identify the keywords of the information you need and possible answers, and then scan the text to find keywords or synonyms. Once you've found them, read short sections of text and complete the questions. Then repeat this process for the other questions and the other texts. So, in each reading test, there will be a variety of question types chosen from the ones you can see on screen now. Let's have a look at those in more detail. So the first one is multiple choice. In multiple choice, you have to choose the best answer from 4 options, like the ones you can see on screen now, or the best 2 answers from 5 options, or the best 3 answers from 7 options. For these questions, they are always in the same order as the text. For true, false not given, or yes, no not given, these questions involve matching the meaning of the questions with the meaning in the text. The difference is that true, false not given are used for information or factual texts, whereas yes, no not given are used for opinions, views, or claims of the writer. If the answer is true or yes, then the question and the text will have the same meaning, or there'll be a paraphrase of each other. If the answer is false or no, then the question and the text will be opposite or will contradict each other. If the answer is not given, then the meaning in the text will not be the same as the question, nor will it be the exact opposite. Again, where the answer is true yes or false no, then you will be able to underline the same meaning or the opposite meaning in the text. If you cannot do this, then the answer is not given. Be careful. Sometimes not given statements will have information that is similar to the text, even some of the same words, but the meaning will not be the same or the opposite. The questions are in the same order as the text. If you find the answer to question 1 in paragraph 3 and the answer to question 3 in paragraph 4, then the answer to question 2 must be between those 2 answers. If you can't find it between the other answers, then the answer is not given. Finally, do not confuse these task types. If you write yes for a true, false, not given question, then your answer is wrong, even if the correct answer is true. This is an example of matching information to paragraphs. These questions test your ability to scan for specific information. You have to find the paragraph in which the information is located and write the letter or number of the paragraph on the answer sheet. These questions are not in the same order as the text. All you have to do to answer these questions is identify the keywords and then scan for synonyms or paraphrase. Find them as quickly as possible and really try not to read that much when answering this kind of question. The next kind of question is very different. This is matching headings to paragraphs. These questions test your ability to skim read each paragraph of a text and identify the main idea of the paragraph. The heading for each paragraph will paraphrase the main idea of the paragraph. There are more headings than paragraphs, and some headings will match details in the paragraphs rather than the main idea. This tests your ability to understand the difference between the main idea of a paragraph and supporting details, and there is always one answer done for you as an example. The process for answering this kind of question is completely different from all the others. See Lesson 4 for a detailed description of how you should approach matching headings to paragraphs. This next one is an example of matching features. For this task, you have to match statements or information to a feature of the text. Examples of features include people, places, historical periods, or age groups. For example, who discovered X? Was it A, Professor Z, B, Dr. M, C, Ms. K, or D, Mr. Y? Some of the features might not be used to answer any questions, even though they will be in the text, and sometimes you will be able to use a feature more than once. The instructions will say when this is the case. This is an example of a completion task, in this case table completion. You can also have sentence completion, notes completion, summary completion, or flowchart completion. In these kind of tasks, you'll have to read a section of the text in detail and complete gaps with a word or number of words. This tests your ability to understand detailed information. The instructions will say how many words you can use. For example, write no more than 3 words or write 1 word only. Do not write more than this number or your answer will be wrong. Note that hyphenated words count as one word. For example, perfectly shaped is one word. Finally, labeling a diagram. These questions test your ability to understand a description of something in detail. You'll need to read one area of a text carefully and label a diagram of it. The labels of the diagram might not be in the same order as the text. There are also matching sentence endings tasks in which you have to choose the best way to complete several sentences from a list of options, and also short answer questions in which you simply answer questions with a given number of words from the text. For example, no more than 2 words, no more than 3 words, or 1 word only. We will return to these example questions and go through exactly how to do them in lessons 3, 4, and 5. That's it for the introduction. In the next lesson, we will discuss how to prepare for the Ielts academic reading test.